Well, football fans, we are very lucky to have on the phone with us an ex-Aston Villa and England international, Mr. Lee Hendrie. How are you doing, Lee?
How you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastically myself. We are, of course, recording this interview, and on Saturday you will be playing some football, of course. So, this is quite a nice little pre-match thing, isn't it? You are, of course, still playing professional football, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm still playing a bit. I sort of come out of the game when I left Hamlet, and one of my good friends has gone in as manager at Corby. So I've gone up there to try and get a bit of fitness and just keep myself ticking over, and maybe give a bit of experience to a few of the young lads there.
Now, of course, you spent a long time playing for Aston Villa. I think you've made quite a lot of appearances for them. I think it was a very long time, wasn't it? Under a few managers, in fact. Yeah.
I mean, I've had a good few managers that I've worked under at Villa. Probably good handful, really. Some good, some really not very good. But that's obviously the way football is. You get on with certain managers. John Gregory's one of my favourite managers I worked under. And Villa had quite a lot of success while he was in control, to be fair. So, he's one of my favourites.
And how would you sum up your career at Aston Villa? There have, of course, been some awesome moments for yourself there. How would you sum it up? Well, I mean, I've been there since I was, at the age of sort of 13. So, I've been there pretty, majority of my career, really. So, I left when I was 30 years of age. Had a fantastic time there, come through the youth system, under some great coaches, Tony McAndrew, Kevin McDonald, Colin Clark, who pushed me through the youth development to actually, gradually get into the first team, which, was a dream come true as a boy. So, I've had some good times, and, I've had some bad times there, but, deep down, obviously, I've always been a Villa fan, and, I always keep close eye on what's happening down at the ground at the current time. Obviously with signings going in and out, and I try and get down to most of the games when I do get a chance myself. So I've had a good career down there, and I've got my England cap, which is something that not many players do. I can't. I'd never turn back. I'd probably change a few things, as in as a younger lad, maybe get my head down a little bit more, but I've had some great times there, and I can't fault it. And you have a genuine love for football, don't you? You've played for so many clubs as well, haven't you? Over the last few years, particularly.
Yeah, I have. I mean, that's just my genuine love for the game, really. I've got a lot. Well, football's been in my genes since I was born. Really, obviously, my dad being a footballer, all my family are football crazy, so obviously having them people around, that's all you're brought up on, and that's what so why not continue as much as I can. I'm still fit, still healthy, so I thought to myself, love the game, so why jack in?
Yeah, why not? And of course, you're actually helping to prepare the sport itself, its future, aren't you? You're of course running a program called Footy Bugs. And
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, in fact, because you're helping young kids, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I've set up a business called 40 Bucks, which, it's ranging from young kids, just trying to give them the sort of general basic skills as what I was sort of brought up with, and give them a sort of a first way of life, to sort of make their steps as they gradually, hopefully, go into some sort of academy situation. I mean, not every kid's going to actually achieve that, but we're not just trying to do the football side of it. I'm trying to cover a lot of the, the health side and, the education. We've tied a lot of them things in our programs. So it's not just football. There's story-based things where they think they're on story adventures, because teaching a 3 to 4 year old, it's hard to keep their attention. And when they think they're driving around in spaceships and stuff like that, it's great fun, and it's amazing what achievements we're getting from that. It's superb, and it's all ball work, and there's always a way behind it. There's attacking, defending with it, but they don't realise that they're actually doing that, which is fantastic. And I'm just thrilled to bits that it's slowly making its way up there, and hopefully I can get this spread across the UK as much as I can.
And you think perhaps it prepares kids for the game in the future, rather than, I think a lot of kids, in fact, nowadays growing up with their ideas of football, it's just grab the ball and run, isn't it? Because you see with a lot of the football games these days, computer games, it's very different than that, isn't it?
It is, and what I'm trying to do is, obviously young kids. The main thing for what I want to achieve out of this is, seeing young kids enjoying themselves, and we'd never want to take that away from it. Football's, one of the best sports in the world. So it's one of them where, I want to try and let the kids enjoy themselves, but obviously try and teach them a few good pointers, which, I've had talk coming through sort of the young system of coming through like Aston Villa and that sort of thing, which, my experience there alone, I'm just want to give a bit back that hopefully the kids will take on board.
Now, I know you're actually coaching, I think, nowadays as well, some of the older lads as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I've done a bit of, obviously just trying to get involved in the whole coaching scenario. It's something that I said, just going back, I've got a lot to offer as in, experience. I've been not only at Aston Villa, I've worked with, top coaches with England. I've come through the England setup from under 18s, under 21s. I've got a B cap, I've got a full cap. So, I've got all them sort of things that I've worked with some fantastic managers and coaches, and, I've picked a lot of things up along the way, which I just, I'd love to give back. And it's not just the football side of it. It's, the ups and downs in football, which a lot of people, are not quite ready for. And if I can sort of pass that information on to the young kids, hopefully, it's a way forward for the future.
You hear a lot of talk these days about, the next generation of footballers, about whether England can develop fantastic footballers like other countries in the world. Now, do you think there's any sort of deficiencies around, or do you think, we're not maybe looking at the whole picture?
I think there'll always be a debate on, what players, the systems, and there always has been, and I think, I look at the state of play at the moment with the England sort of squad, and I think we've got quite a few young lads coming through. You've got your Townsends, you've got your Chamberlains from Arsenal. There's a lot of youth there. It's just that how we sort of utilise them as much as we can, and I think there is scope for young kids coming through. It's just obviously, at the moment there's a lot of obviously foreign guys coming across from different continents, which are getting bought across, which it's jeopardising a few of the young lads coming through the ranks. But listen, if these guys are good enough coming through the ranks and they work hard enough, I don't see why there isn't an opportunity for them.
Yeah, I can completely understand that point of view, and of course, we all need to trust coaches like you about bringing through this next generation of footballers. I want to ask you a little bit about something else as well, since you've gone through these ranks. What have you noticed, like the one characteristic, creating these stars of football? What have they all got, all these players that you've seen in the Premier League? What have they got that, perhaps the ones who don't make it have?
That's a difficult question. I look at some of the young lads, and we was talking about, say, Townsend, for instance, who's at Tottenham, and he went out on loan to, I think he's been out to 4 or 5 clubs on loan, and didn't really shine as much, and then came back and he's a star all of a sudden. So I think looking at some of these lads that are playing in the Premier League, a lot of them have been out and had a taste of what it's like playing in the Championship, League One, League Two, and it's completely different to the Premier League. You're talking, they're playing against top quality players here. You've got some fantastic international players where they're going to learn so much from them if they've got that talent that's there and I think should be given it a shot at. I think why not throw a few of these young kids, and it's just how they react to actually stepping onto the big stage and pushing themselves forward. And like I said, there's plenty of young lads out there. It's just, unfortunately, not all of them seem to make the grade, because there is some great players that are getting bought into the Premier League at the moment.
Now, talking about a good young squad, of course, our local club, Aston Villa, Lee.
Yep.
They've had an all right season so far, don't you think?
Yeah, they have. I totally agree with you. I think we had a great start off at Arsenal, fantastic result. Beat Man City. The thing that disappoints me a little bit with Villa is that home. At home, I think they should. That should be their fortress. I think teams should be worried at coming to Villa Park. I always remember being obviously playing in the first team there, and always fancied us to win at home, no matter who it was. The Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, and I think that's sort of, it's gone a little bit. And I mean, I watched the game on Sunday, and I just felt there just wasn't that, that killer edge going forward where, it excite the fans to get them off the seats. And I think it happens, and then it sort of fizzles out one week, and then it happens again. And I just don't think there's that consistency there where we're at home and, we've got that little killer edge where we're going to go and, win 2 or 3. It just don't seem to happen at the moment. And that's the disappointing thing for me at Villa, because I think we've got some fantastic youth. We've got the big man Benteke in there, and he's been a massive key figure for me.
What would you say that the squad lacks at the moment? If there's one thing that you think would make the team better?
I'd love to see, me personally, I'd love to see someone like going back to the day, someone like a Paul Merson who's he's gonna try and slip someone through, or he's gonna try and. I just don't think we're scoring many goals from midfield. I think Delph's been superb this season.
Fantastic, isn't he?
He works his up and down, his work rate, but I don't think he's going to go and score you many goals. He's one who's going to break the game up and give it to someone. You've got Westwood, who's got great energy as well, and the similar sort of player. I'd just like to see someone in that attacking role that could maybe, create something, called go and score 3 or 4, 5 goals, in sort of a season sort of thing, so and create a lot of goals, which I just think that we're just missing that at the moment. And I'd like to see someone come in and sort of do that, because I think we'd have a great squad if we'd had someone like that.
And a win at Everton tomorrow would definitely be a great way to start. I say tomorrow, but in fact this is going to be broadcast on Saturday. So I say a win today against Everton would be a fantastic way to start off a set of confidence, wouldn't it, for Aston Villa?
Yeah, it would, and like I said, looking at times back where we used to have Everton, your Newcastles, your Spurs. They're the games I think we're gonna go and win, and I think after Sunday's game, I think Benteke being available, I think that's going to give everyone a big boost. So I've got to say, I mean, I do fancy Villa on Saturday, definitely. I just think that with having Benteke back in there, is going to give everyone a lift around the place, and hopefully he can get his goal that would will take us forward.
Well, what better man to give us a little bit of analysis for that than somebody who played at the club for over 10 years, Lee?
No problem.
And before you go, of course, I'm sure people still want to come and see you play now, whether you're playing at Corby. You also play some charity games as well, and I'm sure people would want to contact you about Footy Bugs. Yeah,
definitely. Well, like I say, I'd love to get people involved in my business. I want to take this, I want to change, the way the world is with children, and that's a big key factor for me. I've got young kids myself, and I want to push my business and help young kids develop as good as possible. That's one of the things. And obviously playing down at Corby, they're a regular thing at the moment. And I play a lot of the Villa All Stars. We've got a Villa v Birmingham game against it's at Bolmia, a Villa Birmingham thing where there's 5 celebs from each team against the rest of the fans, which is at Bolmia St Michael's, which will be good on Sunday.
Awesome. And how can people acquire these tickets?
I think you can just turn up and pay on the gate on Sunday. I think that's the way it is, or there might be a website for it. I'm not too sure. I've just been told I'm playing in it.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens, Lee. It's been an absolute honour having you on at the Sportsman.
No problem.
Lee. Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.